Alrighty, hello everybody, and welcome back to the channel. We're continuing on our tow truck build. I realized in the last video the sounds were a bit loud, so when I got in the vehicle, you couldn't hear me talking over the vehicle. In today's video, I have the sound adjusted a little bit. It probably still won't be right, but that's how it goes, whatever. So I finished with the doors. All the doors now work. Let's see here. So that's that. That's cool. So now that we got the doors to work, it's time to start working on what's going on with that door. It's time to start working on this, the actual tow part of the vehicle. So we made this extend when we hop into the vehicle. I'll put my headphones on here just to see how loud it is. When we hop into the truck, we have a button. All right, so now what we want to do is we want to make this. We want to finish with these parts here. Oops. So probably what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this smaller. Scale this down a little bit more. Scale this down like that. Perfect. I'm not too sure. I know I was going to make this thing so it rotated. I don't think it can rotate. It's a bit low for that. Like this whole part would have to be raised up. I think that's all this actually. This would have to be raised up a little bit to there for it to right, because it has to be able to swing out over top of that section. So maybe this one isn't going to be a rotator. Maybe what I'll do is I'll make another one that rotates. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. I'm not still 100%. So that came out of there. This was our part for there. This is just kind of I think this one can collect false. Right. So we want this whole arm. We want this arm here to pivot up and down. So we're gonna have to do the same thing. Let's start by. I'm thinking it's a little out of center here. Let's see. Just like that. Okay. We need a hinge in here. Model, let's create a hinge, and we'll go from here. For some reason, it just isn't letting me. It's not letting me do that. Even that. All right, whatever. Insert object. This is kind of, well, it makes development kind of hard when you have these issues. There and there, and then we'll take that. We need that position. All right, and then we'll take that. And we'll take that position. There we go. So now we want this thing to rotate. So let's turn this into arm A is what we're going to call this part. Okay, and then we want to make this, we'll say limits enabled. We'll turn it into a motor. I guess it could go 45, 45, but this is going to need to be one of these constraints. Has to be rotated here. Is it that one? No. Is that right? No. Where are we here? rotation, or is it this one? Oh boy. It might actually be this one that's in the arm. No, it's not. It's this one here. Let's go 0, 0, 0. Is that right? No, it's. See how this is kind of up on an angle? It's this attachment here. There we go. And then this one here, this will be 0. There we go, perfect. Now they're both in alignment and they should rotate the same way. All right, so let's just check that out for a minute here. Max motor torque, we'll make that our maximum. So now what we're gonna do is this is gonna go into the truck functions interface, which right now it's just very basic, right? The first button here, this is our extend. I should name it that, extend. Crane. Okay, and we can just, honestly, we can just duplicate that. And we will tail this one to pivot, and this will be crane up. Because we're gonna need one to go up, and then we're gonna need one to go down. So we'll just test it. Oh, actually, you know what? Here, before we do that, we want to duplicate this one here. Extend. We're gonna call this one retract. So because it's a list layout. You need to do these like one button at a time. Otherwise, they're gonna get all sort of confused. So we can do that, and then this one here is gonna be retract crane, and then we can duplicate this one here, and we could say upper pivot up, PVT up, and this will be crane up, and then we can duplicate that, and we can say down pivot down, or up pivot down, actually up PVT DWN. All right, and then that's going to say crane down, just like that. Perfect, right? Because we have our in our interface. And I think I just put it here into miscellaneous, if I remember correctly. All right. So now what we need to do is create some buttons. So we'll say crane UI dot up, pivot up, dot mouse button 1 up, and then we'll say connect function, and then we'll say truck, right? Fire server. And we are going to say crane up. Just like that. And then we'll duplicate this one here. And this will be one button up. Oh, this will be, yeah, this is one mouse button up. This one's supposed to be mouse button down. All right. And now I'm pretty sure that can extend. Now I don't know, I think everything is welded to that part there. Let's see here. Everything is welded to that part there. So we've got this weld constraint here. And this one, so we'll get rid of this one here. We're going to call it the lock. Okay, perfect. Now what we need to do is we need to go into our control script, and we need to add, we need to say if variable is equal to, and we need the name of that variable, crane up. Oh boy. Then, let's see, we'll say script dot parent dot tow bed dot crane dot lock dot enable equals false. We'll tell it to wait a split second, and then we'll say script dot parent dot tobed dot crane no dot arm a. Actually, this is dot arm a. Arm a dot hinge constraint dot velocity equals 1. And I think we have that set up just like that. So let's see if that's going to work. Oh, it's going to give me an error. There we go. So we'll get in the truck. Oh, this has to be capital. Spelling. Spelling is really important. Okay, so it went down, it went down. So we can change that angular velocity to -1. Let's see how that's going to work now. There we go. That could come out like that. I don't know if this locks. I know it unlocks, but I don't know. And then we need the next crane up. So this would be crane up stop like that. So then we'll just take this and we'll say if is equal to stop, then what do we want to do? We want to say script.parent.tobed.army.hinge constraint.angular velocity equals 0. And then we want to say script.parent.tobed.arm.a.lock.enabled equals true. And then we'll just have it wait for a split second here. Just like that. So I may slow the speed down also. I noticed it was actually pretty fast. So we could change that to 0.5. Yeah, that's a lot smoother. There, you see it locks into place. Ah, there we go. All right, perfect. So the next thing we are going to need to do is we're going to have to move these guys here. Now, I've seen some working pistons. I have no idea. I have no idea how I'm going to get these pistons to work. Either I attach them to hinges, you know, or something. I know there is a way to get them to extend and retract and stay in position and follow this. But that is definitely going to be something I will have to work on. Because as you can see, it goes up so tall that you can't see these anymore. So I don't know if it's enough. Maybe if I make them as, oh jeez, I don't even know. I don't even know right now. Do that. Okay, I'm going to think about that for a minute. In the meantime, what I want to do is I want to get this part part working. So this has a weld constraint to there. We're going to get rid of that. And I think the rest of this here has a weld constraint. We'll get rid of that. And this one here has a weld in it also. We'll get rid of that. This, yeah, okay, yeah. So this here, we should be able to just create a hinge without having all the issues that we had in the body. Yeah, because of the two parts. I don't know, for some reason unions and other stuff seems to have a bit of an issue. Cool, this is going to speed things up quite a bit. Perfect. Is that where we wanted to pivot? Probably not. We probably wanted to pivot down in the, right down here in the corner, actually. We can do this, and we can do that. Perfect. Okay, and then this here, we can call this the lower pivot. And then just for code purposes, lower pivot, and then this is also, it's going to need to extend. So what we need to do is we need to take this one here, can collide false, and we'll make a prismatic constraint, which is like an elevator. And we want to go like that and like that. And let's see, we'll copy this. Okay, and then we'll set this to a motor. And it goes to 5. Oh, 5 might actually be, might even be good enough for that. And then what we want to do is we want this guy is going to want to pivot. So we want to take a hinge, and we're going to go from here into there. And it can actually pivot. Let's see, we'll make it pivot right like that, and maybe something like that. All right, and then this is going to be the extend pivot. I don't even know, but each part needs to have a label, right? Each part is going to need to have a label in it. Okay, so let's get these buttons going, and it's just so we can test this all out. There are a couple of buttons on here that don't work. The retract function doesn't work, so let's get that coded in here. Let's see, crane UI dot retract. Mouse button 1 down, connect function. All right. Then we're going to say truck. Fire server, and we'll say in, and then we'll just say in stop here on that one. Just like that, and then in our script, we can do this. Just copy that. Like that, and this can be in. This can be in stop. And then we just need to reverse this. We'll go to 1, just like that. And then now, this is crane up. Oh yes, and then just copy this. Instead of up pivot, this is down. That's funny, I had that backwards. Down, crane up, we'll say crane down. Crane down, stop. And then we just take these two here, copy that, paste that, except this will be crane down. And this will be crane down, stop. And then this is going to go the opposite speed. Okay, so let's test what we have so far just to make sure all those functions work before we go ahead And oh yeah, those aren't set up yet, so it's just gonna flop around. That's okay. So extend. All right, the retract crane is not working. Why is that? That's why. This needs to be mouse button on up. All right, down, up, down, up. That could be it. It's firing both variables at the same time. It's telling it to go and it's telling it to stop, so that could be it. Let's just see if that is it. Extend the crane, retract crane. That's exactly what it is. Okay, perfect. So now we need to add the rest of these buttons here. And like I said, I'm going to change this around. I'm going to make these buttons look a lot better. We're going to do that in the end. First, we're just coding all the functions, and then we'll go back through and we'll edit the interface, make the buttons round and colorful and all that sort of stuff. They're going to do lots of different things. So we will be going through that. This will be more in-depth on this one than the garbage truck. It's just a basic vehicle. The person I built it for didn't want me to build an interface for it, so I didn't do an interface build. But I'm going to be using the tow truck in my latest game, Distribution Champions. So I am going to be building a user face for it, a user interface for it, just because I think interfaces are just really, really cool. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is we want to get not the extended pivot, but we want the lower pivot to work. So let's see if we can get a button for that. Where are we here? Let's see. Down pivot, and then we duplicate this one here, and we can name this lower arm down, and then that's what this can say here. Crane down, this can say lower down like that, and we can duplicate that, and this can say lower arm up. Lower arm up. All right, and now we need controls for that. So we say crane UI dot lower arm down. Yeah, dot mouse button 1 down, connect function. LSA truck. Fire server, and we'll say lower down, just like that. And then let's put 1 up, lower down, stop, right? Which is what we want to do for the code. And then we'll need to say crane UI dot lower arm up dot mouse button 1 down, connect function. Oh my goodness. All right, so yeah, basically all the code is it's telling the parts of what to do. Right? What do you want the parts to do? Lower up, and then we'll say lower up, stop here. That's pretty much all the code is doing. We're connecting the functions. Right? So people probably wonder, what is coding? This is coding right here. This is what we're doing. We're engineering the code, as it were, and basically all you're doing is you're just thinking about what you want the part to do, and then you're just creating the functions. So when we press the button, right, crane UI, when we press the button on the screen, this is what it's going to do, and then we connect that function to another script which has more code in it, and that code tells the parts how to act. That's it. That's coding. There really isn't much else to it. So we have lower down, and then okay. So for the lower part, we're going to go back to the truck, and we got to go to this part here, which has extend pivot. So we need to say if variable is equal to, and we want to say lower down. Then we want to say script.parent.toBed. What's that part there called? Is it lower pivot? I think it is. Lower pivot. Where's the, yeah, lower pivot. Lower pivot. All right. And then we want to say hinge constraint, because that's what we're looking for. Angular velocity equals 1. Actually, it'll probably be 0.5 for this one as well. And I might slow the other ones down also. That's kind of part of it in the end. So now, is there a lock on there? There isn't a lock here. So let's get a lock. Let's weld that to there. And we're going to name this lock. All right, so the first thing we want to do is we want to tell the lock, right? Script.parent.toBed, lower pivot, .lock, .enabled equals false. We want to wait a split second. Then it's going to do its thing, and then we're going to say lower down stop. Just like that. This here is going to happen after. And we can get rid of this. Just like that. And then this is going to be not 0.5. But that might have to be reversed because we don't really know. And then this should go to true. Just like that. That should be the lower arm up and down. Now, let's make this hinge constraint active. We're going to turn it into a motor. Do we want to say limits enabled? We probably should. The lower angle, we could say 0. And the upper angle... see, 0. The lower angle can be 90. I don't even know if that's going to work. Let's see if that's going to work. Let's try it out. Oh, and then we need to make sure this interface is back in here. All right. I did turn it down. I'll turn it down even a little bit more here, just to make sure that the sounds are they're not super loud. Let's see. Because I don't have any background music playing, right? So, no, that didn't do anything. Why is that? Probably because this needs to be there. And this needs to be there. Let's try -5. All right, so it's going the other way. So we can change the lower angle to 90, and that might work a bit better. No. If we turn it back to -90, and then we turn this to, let's see if that works. Sometimes it's just a matter of playing around with it. It can be frustrating. As you can tell, I get frustrated quite a bit. It can be frustrating. All right. What's going on? It wants to go this way, that's why. So what if we say the lower angle is going to be 0, and then if we turn the upper angle to 90, and we're telling it to go backwards, then it might turn for us the right way. Yeah, there we go. So it won't go further than that, which is perfect. We might want it to go a little bit further, so that way we can back up under the vehicle. So instead of 90, maybe we'll tell it to go to 100. And that might be just enough for us to get down underneath the vehicle while we're backing into it. Oh yeah, perfect. That's perfect. Now I don't even know if we really need to extend this. We can extend it out a bit further. I don't know if we're going to need to. And then of course arm up is going to be the reverse of that. So we've got lower down. Now let's get the lower up here. We'll just copy that function and we'll say lower up. And we'll just say lower up stop, just like that. And we'll change this to -0.5. And we should be able to go down and up with that part. So as you can see, once you get rolling and you start building momentum, it doesn't take a lot to, it really doesn't take a lot to get this, figure it all out, get everything connected. Arm goes down, perfect, and then the arm can come up. Oh, that's perfect. And everything locks into place. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to do the same thing that we did with the bins over here, where when it attaches to the truck, it's going to create a weld. So what we need to do on all our vehicles that we want to be able to tow is we're going to need to have a part down there somewhere. So when this makes contact, it'll create a weld and then that kind of stuff. And then that way it'll do it automatically. And then we'll just sort of need a button for it. So the idea is that once it's welded, and we'll be able to test this out hopefully in this video, once it's welded, yeah, let's see here, let's see. So we can almost just try that right now. We can take this here, like this, right? This is what I started to do a while ago with my other tow trucks, but I never fully got around to it, to really kind of testing it and making it work. Yeah, so we can do something like that. And then with this part here, we can create a weld to there. And then this obviously was going to be Cancolite Falls, like that. I mean, we can make it massless. I don't think I will for now. And then, what do we do? We need to name it, right? Is the script in here? It is. So we'll just copy that script. Okay, so what does it do? That's it. This is all the script does. So the name of the part is going to be, we just need to name this part here. So we could name this, it's extend. Oh, that's that part there. All right. So we can say EXTENDPVT. Perfect. Just like that. Then it's going to create a weld constraint. And it's going to be called whatever. So let's just test that out and see what happens here. Let's see if this thing flies away. So we can get into our truck and we can lower the arm down. And then we'll come in below the truck. So it's actually a bit wide, as you can see, it's a bit wide. Oh, there we go. So it connected to it. No, it doesn't want to do anything. So if we come out of here, obviously I'm going to need to close that. That should stay running. It should stay running. Oh boy. Oh boy. See, it's having trouble dealing with the weight of the other truck. This was my concern. And then of course it just seems to be that the constraint as well, which isn't helping out. this extension on here. So maybe what we'll do is we'll oh, because there's no lock. So let's do this for now. Let's just create a weld. We'll call this lock. So that way we have it. And you know what I'll do? I'll just temporarily make this can't light false. And we'll try that again. And it's sort of, so this is kind of the, where, you know, like the, let's see, arm down. It works. It works, kind of. Well, you know why this one doesn't go? It's front wheel drive. We're gonna have to change that on this. This here, it's front wheel drive. Okay, we'll change it to rear wheel drive. See if that's better for the truck, for the tow truck. Now, as you also noticed, it didn't really compress, and that's because what we did is we told the suspension not to compress in the script. Oh yeah, it moves a lot better now too. There we go. No, it doesn't. It doesn't want to move at all. So now, why is that? Is that because this one is in part? It could be. Hey! Ah, it's running away. No, don't drive away on me. There we go. Oh, I'm stuck on the bin. No. Oh my goodness. What a fail. There we go. Oh, it doesn't want to go now. Oh, I see. So we might need to add a fifth wheel onto the back here. Yeah, because I can't steer. It's unfortunate. So it'll weld it onto there. It'll weld it onto here. But then we can't lift it up. And that just has to do with the weight. All the weight of this truck being on the back. So either, I wonder what we can do about that now. Because it's actually, it'll be welded onto here. This part here. So I wonder if I wonder what we can do here. How we can get that to move. So what I ended up having to do with the other tow trucks is turning them into, I had to make them twin steers so they could work with the big trucks. So So this is kind of the... on there. See, the main crane will move up and down, but this one won't move up and down. And again, if we just pause it like that, turn that one on, there we go. So we have to start the other truck. So now that we started the other truck, it's not ideal. What if we try all-wheel drive for the... Oops, what if we try all-wheel drive? Maybe that might help with the handling of the tow truck. Let's try that. Let's see here. Start this one up. No, it does not want to. Doesn't want to pull. I'm surprised this doesn't want to move. Oh, there we go. That's definitely not going to work. So, what can we do there? Maybe that. Like that, maybe. Oh yeah, there we go, maybe. That works. There we go. So it's just a matter of balancing it out and playing around with it. Oh, that's so cool. Got it to work. Oh. Sort of. Nice. There we go. So it needs to be on a pivot like that. That part needs to be on the pivot. And then maybe what we need to do is we need to increase the weight of the tow truck here. Anything heavier, right? So sometimes, I don't know, that's when we could have like a fifth wheel on here so it doesn't buck like that on the back, just for towing. Probably what we're going to need to do. Back here, maybe. So then if we take care of that, and I guess we don't need, this doesn't need to extend then. That should be good enough to connect to the truck. It's kind of nice that it does extend though. And then it would be nice if that kind of pivots. Well, anyway, that's going to do it for this this video. This will be part number 3. As you saw there, we kind of got it to work. I'm just going to be playing around with it a little bit more and seeing what I need to do. That's where we're at now. Is now you need to play with the vehicle. You need to start, just do some adjustments, either adjustments here or adjustments here or whatever. And just kind of, I just need to see what I can do to get this to perform a little bit better. So I'm going to play around with it. And then when we start the next video, I'll go over the adjustments that I had to make. And then basically we just need to add the light bar, and we can start adding the lights to it. And that will be, it's almost pretty much ready to go. Of course, I'm going to fill this in and do a few more things. So yeah, so like I said, I'm going to play around with it. I'm going to test out the idea of adding a 5th wheel on the back here and getting that going a little bit, just so that way. I mean, this will work for small cars, no problem. It'll pick small cars up, no problem. But when it comes to these big trucks, and of course, this is a garbage truck, so it's different because there's a lot more weight on the back of it. If this was, say, a regular truck that only had the cab on it maybe and didn't have a big part on the back, it might be easier to tow as well. So just little factors like that we just need to adjust and play with. So yeah, so that's going to do it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next one.